And while partnerships can grow you and present beautiful things in your life, absolutely, so can marriage. It can be a beautiful thing when it's a healthy thing. However, you have to be so mindful that you don't go into, let's say, the dating game with desperation, because that can make you vulnerable to anybody who sees your availability to make something happen and use that for their own gain. And I've had that happen in my life where I've been willing to communicate and open up and have all these beautiful positive traits that I worked so hard at. And then that be manipulated for that other person's gain because they know how to work you. There are people out there who know how to work your vulnerabilities. And so if you're a woman, if you're anybody out there who is wanting to meet new people, I think this applies to anybody, not just in the dating scene, not just traveling, not just living life. Yes. And if you want to be safe, these are some tips I have for you. First of all, have very strong boundaries. You're being taught oftentimes as a woman in life that having strong boundaries means you're being bossy. You're difficult. You're a difficult woman. You difficult woman. You, you.
How dare you
Oh,
have my
she's
pedestal?
right. How dare you have standards? Have very strong
Yes.
boundaries because that makes you harder to manipulate. Second, do not overshare everything about yourself in a minute and a half into whatever situation you're in with whatever situation person you're with, right? Be very mindful of what details you share. Make sure that you do not tell them where you work or where you live very shortly into meeting this person. Be very mindful of sharing your online footprint, Snapchat, tracking, all that stuff. Be very aware of that. Be very mindful of that. Make sure you always meet in public places when you meet new people. I feel like these are very commonality things to say, but it is the truth. And most importantly, learn some self defense moves. However, also be aware that if you are confronted with a situation where you may have to use these traits or these things that you learned, that they may not come to mind. Because when you're confronted with it in the real life, and I've heard this multiple times, I've had it with myself, it may just not click. Your brain just freezes and you're like, wait a minute, I learned all these things to protect myself, but right now I'm in a situations where I'm being confronted with something scary and I need to protect myself and I don't know what to do. That is also something that can happen. So make sure you have backup things that you can kind of protect yourself with, pepper spray, whatever it is, whatever's legal for where you live.